anything this hour? We want to check in with Chris. How you doing,
Chris?
bud?
How you feeling?
I'm doing well. The beast comes at night. You're doing well. The beast comes at night.
Virus. Last week, as the president said, we issued an emergency use authorization to allow the donated hydroxychloroquine to come into the country and enter the general circulation. The donated hydroxychloroquine to come into the country and enter the general circulation.
In the direction of where his hand is.
We are prioritizing this drug.
Hand. A-N-D.
Prioritizing this drug to come in for clinical trials. Also into general to come in for clinical trials, also into general.
Trump's motioning to look at his hand. This is like the tamest example of what I have coming next. Some of it's just kind of jaw-dropping. I just wanted to say another thing. Remember, this was recorded live, so it's like it being live. So this is basically like live Photoshop. Don't know how they do it, but so just keep in mind that everything that happened here happened in real life. They're showing everything backwards right now because they're trying to hide it until they do the real stuff. Some of it's really subtle, but they're, you might ask me, why are they showing each other this? Why are they motioning to show each other the little itty bitty details? Because no one would notice it, and that way they can let each other know how it works, what are the problems. They can know when it's on, when it's not on. And I also think they're proud of it and excited about it. Looks at the White House image right there because he's going to show something near his arm, showing them where it is by moving his body back and forth. There, right there, the one that's between the two men, the White House sign or symbol or whatever. To me, this is like a mirage effect. Look. Do you see it bounce? Because their images are clashing with one another. Did you see that? So subtle, but you can see, okay, you can see the line around him. It's super thin, but the light is bending around him a little bit. You can see the light arrive there before he does. But they know it's happening and they're telling each other. They know the faults with it, that it's not perfect. It's pretty good though. And also they're letting each other know the image is on right now. Do you see that little thing on the left, top left, that disappears before his suit gets there? Yeah, that's because he has a light halo around him. So subtle, just like the devil. Right here, you can see it pretty good. Look how it's warping.
Also into general use for physicians, because as you know, physicians, based upon their interaction with the patients, their assessment of the risks and benefits, can write a prescription for hydroxychloroquine. So that was the purpose of the emergency use authorization. One other thing I'd like to mention is that we on Friday stood up a formal convalescent plasma program.
It's there before he does again. He looked down to show again. Watch, right there. Right there. See that? Double. Right there. It's a light illusion. Right there. It's an illusion.
Enthusiasm for that. There are some reports that this is of benefit to patients in other countries who have had the COVID-19 virus. And what this means is taking plasma from patients who've had the virus and who have recovered and transferring the immunity,
Twisting his body
the
to
immunoglobulins, if you will,
show
the immunity from
the
that
shadow
person
that it's
to
casting.
someone who's sick.
They
and we're
will
hopefully
understand this
expanding
when
that
they
across the
see
country.
it.
The Red
Whoa.
Cross is involved in that program.
Okay. I don't know much about shadows, but
why all of the modelers, and I really want to thank them again, they're reevaluating all of their models in light of the level of the impact of the mitigation. Remember, none of us had really been through this before. So when we modeled school closures
Lane's effort to
and
the thing is behind him.
distancing and
I
staying
don't.
at
It's like
home
a
and all of
camera.
these
I don't know.
pieces, that had
And then
never
he
really
puckers
come
his
into the
mouth.
model before.
There's something
They're
in her
working
mouth
on
later.
that very diligently now. Of course, just to be clear, we won't know.
He
how
twists
valid
around
the
to that,
models
whatever
are
that
until we move
contraption
all the
is
way
back
through
there.
that.
Look at what he does with his mouth. He's telling them to look at her mouth. Letting them know when it's coming because it's so tiny. Look at, he did his lips, looked back at that thing again. Now look,
What we're
there's a black thing
right
in her
now,
mouth.
and is the yeah, I'm looking at
The image put that there.
right now, and instead of triangulating right now, and instead of triangulating right now, and instead of working on R naught, we're looking at testing and triangulating testing, test positive cases, hospitalizations, ICUs, and the whole. For them, all of the information to ensure
Trump's going to look
that
at the sign
clients who
again,
come to
and
the
the sign is
hospital
going
are
to
cared
shift.
for. And then there's states in the middle that we're trying to figure out, are they changing or not? Each clients who come to the hospital are cared for. And then there's states in the middle that we're trying to figure out, are they changing or not? Each of those, are they changing or not? Each of those, are they changing or not? Each of those, are they changing or not? Each of those on our models and on the actual data about 12 days behind them. At the same time, we see in the United States really good case studies of the on our models and on the actual data about 12 days behind them.
Down.
At the same time, we see in the
Side
United
to
States
the left,
really good case studies
up.
of the impact at
Trump
Washington
nods
State,
back.
of California, on our models
Down.
and on the actual data about
Going
12
down.
days behind them. At the same time, we see
the
in
left.
the United States really good
Up.
case studies of the impact at Washington
Trump
State,
nods
of
back.
California,
Looks
and then
at the sign.
and then a series of smaller
I don't know if you
states
noticed,
where
but
we're
every time he
trying to
leans
learn
back to
from
that
them
machine behind him,
how to
they do a little trick.
surveillance
So
and with
watch.
these new
Leans back to the machine
HHS
behind him,
Habit ID Now kits, and I just want to
and
thank Admiral Gerard
it's under
for
his
getting them
eyes.
out.
They move.
Being able to look at testing in a more comprehensive way, so we can be doing
On their own.
surveillance and
Did you see
mitigation
that? I'll show you
simultaneously, so
right
we
there.
can answer that very question. It's going to be doing surveillance and mitigation simultaneously, so we can answer that very question. It's going to be
Those pockets under the eyes don't move ever. And look at the rest of his face isn't moving, so nobody can say, oh, it's because of his. Look at. Go in the mirror and try and do that. You can't. There's fat there. There's no muscles there to pull anything up. It's a trick. That's a fat pocket. You can't lift it up like that. Besides, no other muscles on his face are moving. So how could he possibly be doing that? It's the image. Trump, you're a liar. You're not who your followers think you are.
doing surveillance and mitigation simultaneously, so we can answer that very question. It's going to be very difficult to answer at this moment across the United States because each metro cluster is on a different pathway. Doing surveillance and mitigation simultaneously, so we can answer that very question. It's going to be very difficult to answer at this moment across the United States because each metro cluster is on a different pathway move through the epidemic, and move through the epidemic. And I think we just really ought to emphasize through, because we see Italy, we see Spain moving through.
Need to have in place, and we will have that in place, is that as you then pull back, you have to have the capability that as you then pull back, you have to have the capability of in a very pristine, you have to have the capability of in a very pristine.
Hard to see, but when he pulls back from it, you can see the interference right there. Do you see that? Look at that on the side of his face. Look right there. Look at the pillar bending around his face. Image of the beast, folks. Get all sorts of troll comments, but if anyone wants to say that things naturally like bend around light, solid objects like a human body does not bend around objects, okay? Light does, and that's why you're seeing that, because it's a digital light projection.
You do see it. Because remember, when you get to mitigation, containment takes the back seat because you're just struggling to mitigate. But when you get it down, containment takes the back seat because you're just struggling to mitigate. But when you get it down, you need to make sure it doesn't resurge. So that get to
She
mitigation.
points to her dress,
Containment
messing
takes
with
the back seat
the
because you're
ruffles.
just struggling
Okay,
to mitigate.
just keep
But when you
watching.
get it down,
She's
you
trying
need
to bring
make sure it
attention to
doesn't
her,
resurge. Get to
that
mitigation.
area right here.
Containment takes the back seat because you're just struggling to mitigate.
Her hand
But when you
loses
get it
definition.
down, but when you
Watch.
get it down, but when you get it down,
It becomes like a whole piece. Do you
you
see
need-
that? And then watch
to make sure it does struggling to mitigate.
watch his
But
jacket
when you
go
get
into it now.
down, you need to make sure it doesn't resurge.
Look at this. They're just showing each other what it can do. That doesn't come from the folds. That's like ink going on its own. You see that? And then look at the thing that comes down. And then let's go and look back at her hand. Okay, look. See the interference? See her hand lose definition? Look at the light around his jacket. You can see it right there. It occludes it right there. This is not a joke. They're going to deceive so many people.
Plasma the people that were infected that have now.
And then
Okay,
give it
she
to
sticks
some
out her
Brazil.
hand a little bit.
And so that
Looks
allows
down.
you and
Here,
then
I
give it to some Brazil.
zoomed in for you.
And so that allows you to transfer that immunity. It doesn't have to be matched by family
Okay,
or
there's
anything
a
like
reason.
that. Since last Tuesday, the Tuesday before last,
This is really hard to see, so pay close attention. Look at his jacket. Look at his finger goes down and the jacket bends. Look at his finger right there. Okay, seriously, do you know how hard it was to even catch this? Okay, this is how deceptive it's going to be. The light like interfered. Do you see those two little dots? Okay, you have to have eyes of like a hawk to see this. I have like, for some reason, past 20/20 vision. My grandma was like, always eat your carrots. Okay, do you guys see that? It's on his shoulder. Keep looking. Okay, jackets don't move on their own. They don't crinkle in with no interference. This is the most deceptive image you could ever possibly imagine. They're showing each other. They're subtle like their father, the devil. When they're ready to use it, it's gonna deceive. You just wait and see what this can do. I mean, not wait and see, but you know what I mean. They're being subtle because they know that they're showing it off right now and they know what to look for. Okay, Trump nods to the camera contraption behind them. They're about to do another weird slide thingy. Okay. Sliding, not walking. Otherwise, her shoulders would move. It's only backwards. And I just paused it at the right time so you could see. That's so deceptive. I'm so angry. Okay, now she does it twice, so. Then she goes that way. I'm gonna get closer in like I did with the other one. They just love this sliding thing because you have to really be paying attention because they know what movements like are like each other, and a short slide is hard to distinguish between walking into place. She slid. This is different than the one yesterday. I'll show you that again. Look at the image of Trump's eyes when she's doing it. He's letting him know when she's doing it. Slide, not walk. He gets into place because he's going to do it too. He takes a few steps backwards because so it's deceptive. That people won't be able to tell. And back he goes. Back he goes.
Right now.
He goes.
Right now.
Back he goes.
Right now.
He goes. That's supernatural. That's not walking. They're not walking. Their bodies got transported a small bit by sliding. I'm going to show you guys me taking the segment and then doing it in real time. So no one could say this is doctored.
Planning to actually
This is
scale that up, and we'll
forwards.
have more information this.
Okay, this is the part. Do you see him pointing down? All right, let's go.
And run it through the Red Cross because they've got the greatest system and capacity for doing this. And this allows us to scale up so that when people get sick, we can actually have these donated plasma packs given to the patients who are sick.
So are people be donating plasma now? So obviously some of us don't know if we had it or recovered. What should people be doing?
So we've started with the Red Cross in this program. We
Okay, now let's take a look at it.
made an announcement yesterday.
All I'm doing is reversing. That's where they signal when it starts. Okay. That's why he's pointing down. Okay. See? Didn't doctor it. It's fresh. Okay. And then she slides back again. Back and forth. Did you hear the video? Back and forth. Listen to the sound. It's a messed up version of back and forth, but it's the same rhythm that you'd say back and forth. Listen. Okay, did you hear the back and forth? Okay, he's gonna take 2 steps. Hold on. Stepping into place, lifts up his leg, and that's when he goes. The step is really deceptive. Back he goes. Nobody moves backwards that perfectly because your shoulders have to move back and forth to compensate for your body. Then he moves his leg to settle in. And then he looks over. We're done. This one's going to be hard to see, but I'm going to try and show you. So she looks down over at a spot behind her back. There's going to be a tiny, like a cube appear. It's the same color as the background, but look how she's looking down behind her and moves a tiny little bit, because that's where it is. Okay, a cube will appear. I'm sorry for those of you who can't see this. It's in this area right here. See? I didn't know that see-through cubes showed up in the background. Did you?
What does that say?
What is the question?
Get people back to work. It'll be additional information because, as you know, if you have an antibody, that means you were exposed and have recovered from it. That, with the information about diagnosis, should help.
Can you scale up this testing to determine on a
All I did was watch their body language. She blinks, she slides like she's in a horror movie. Did you see how she slid? He slides too. Look at his body language. Her looking at him. Okay, she looks at him, look. He's gonna go next. Okay, there it goes, right there. Body language? Okay, right there. This is not as obvious as hers, though. You have to understand, they're signaling at the right moment because they're going to break it apart and they're going to see what they're hiding. Because what it can do is deceive many people. That's not walking. All I'm doing is stopping the pause button a ton of times so you can see the real movement so that there's no question. There, does that help you to see it better? Here, I'll do that for her too. Okay, where does she start at? I was just pausing and pausing and pausing. So you can see there's no body movement, it's just sliding. Okay. There's no disputing that. This is the one from yesterday. I'm going to play it again and then I'm going to break it up and pause it often so that you can see the entire movements, okay? This is the one from yesterday. You're gonna hear that over and over again, sorry. I'm gonna play it again and then I'm gonna break it up and pause it often. Okay, we pause when you can see the smacks. And then she gets that look on her face. And then the entire movements, okay? Okay, I couldn't get the pause button that time, hold on. It was getting stuck. Okay, ready? Okay, that should make it really clear. She even cocks her head over when they're finished. There, that should make it clear.
Those metro areas, because people went to work and got exposed and came home.
The virus has no place to go if you're physically separated.
And one of the
Pence blanks, Trump points. Face. Okay, ready?
The virus has no place to go if you're physically separated.
Okay. The blinking. Let's do it backwards. Points. Blinks. Slide. He's sliding, not walking. Here, look at his legs. He's not walking. That's full time. That's normal speed. Crazy. Watch. It's time, he points. Okay, go. Look in the corner. There's no walking. Here. In unison. Okay, that's where Trump stops walking. In unison. Okay, he stops walking right there. They slide into place. One more time. Okay, that's where he stops walking. And they slide in unison. That I didn't do anything. Here's it forwards. I'm going to show you the same thing again. Hold on. That's the whole thing. Okay, ready? This is how deceptive they are. Ready? Ready? Points. Go. Okay.
Dr. Brooks, just a quick question. Are we in that 24-hour window yet?
His ear was normal, now it's deformed. take a good look. You can see his ears normal right there, and then it changes right there. Okay, it's normal, and then it changes. Yeah. It is by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not from yourselves, it is the gift of God, not by works, so that no one could boast. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Salvation exists in no one else, for there is no other name under heaven given to men by which we must be saved. This is the Jesus, the stone ye builders rejected, which has become the cornerstone. That if thou shalt confess with thy mouth the Lord Jesus, and shalt believe in thine heart that God hath raised him from the dead, thou shalt be saved. For with the heart man believeth unto righteousness, and with the mouth confession is made unto salvation. They are ready for the great tribulation. The Bible is true. This is all true. The image of the beast is ready and operational.